Welcome to the HohO Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live on the cottage studio. So welcome to the HohO Show, and as always, I am your host, HohO. So,
Yeah,
I screwed that up. So,
hi everybody.
yes, and I am joined in studio by none other than Mr. Ray. How you doing today, sir?
Better than you are.
That ain't no joke, man. So, yeah, whenever I was starting the stream, I hit the wrong transition button. I was supposed to go from the start screen to the intro screen, and I pressed the wrong. But in my defense, okay, guys, I just got done resetting everything up today. Just literally it was after 5:30. So I had
And why is that? You tell.
Well,
Tell them
I had
a
an
story,
update.
HohO.
I had an update, and it destroyed everything. It destroyed the bootloader on the computer, and I tried everything. I even went as far as to call up Microsoft and be like, "Hey, help!" and they basically told me, it was like, "Well, can't really help you out. You know what you need to do, just do it." And I'm like, fine. So I did. And I was not happy about it. All kinds of programs to reinstall. Just all kinds of stuff going on. Is this thing? Okay, good.
But the work core is now back online, and
Everything is online, good to go for this show.
for this show, we hope.
Yes. Not all the other ones, but this one we're good. So, guys, we do have some things to talk about, and some of the things I'm wanting to touch base on today are topics that I've never discussed on the show and really had no intention of discussing on the show, but it's an aspect of the temperature of the room, things that have been going on. What is that? I don't know. Anyway. Something that needs to be discussed. Let's just put it that way. Things that need to be discussed. But we're going to open up today by talking a little bit about, well, let's just put it this way. Hunter Biden, he's screwed. Did you hear about the new release earlier this week?
I've heard some stuff. Not sure which one you're pertaining to, but
The laptop.
no, I didn't hear about the laptop itself.
Oh, well.
I know there's a lot of junk people were saying the same thing, that he's in trouble.
Yes. So
Some people were even thinking he'll commit the proverbial suicide, 2 bullets in the back of the head or something.
right, yeah.
Hate when that happens.
And Welcome Machine over there in YouTube land, he goes, just a month? Well, yeah. I mean, at least for now, And yes, the whole year definitely has been crap. I agree with that. But not that long ago. So I guess I should start the story off with what happened was, and yes, I am functional again. You missed that part of the conversation. It's all right, though. It's all right, though. So what happened was, and now this was, we'll get into that. There was a Lappy Toppy that Mr. Hunter Biden dropped off at a laptop mechanic shop. I don't know if I can say that 3 times fast. Laptop mechanic shop. Anyway, it was a laptop mechanic shop. And
laptop?
I did read it, and no, so just hush. And anyway, so he dropped his computer off at a laptop mechanic shop. So yeah, he dropped his computer off there, and he assigned the work order, paid the $85, I guess, or that was the bill maybe, but he never did end up picking up the laptop. And the thing is, anytime you do something like that, there's a disclaimer in there. There's fine print that if you don't pick up your merchandise within an allotted amount of time,
right,
then that merchandise becomes a property of the shop, and they can, wipe it and resell it or whatever they need to do in order to recoup the losses for the repair or whatever they had to fix or whatnot. Okay.
right.
So he tried to he tried to return the laptop. He called him up, numerous phone calls, and from what it sounded like, it was like a year had passed, between him getting the laptop, getting it fixed, and then yeah, right? Yeah, Machine put, I wish I was that rich to just leave my gear all willy-nilly. Exactly. So he tried to get it returned to him, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to. He tried, wasn't able to. So, and hello, Mr. Canyon over there in Facebook land. Good to see you. And he says, yo, what's up, boys? Not much. Not much at all, actually. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing. How are you doing?
I'm
better?
I'm good. I'm better.
You're better?
I am better.
Okay.
I am better. Yeah. So, he opened up the laptop, checked everything out, seen what was on there, seen whose it was, and he was like, holy crap. He made, let's just say, numerous copies of the items on it, and he turned it into the FBI, and they sat on this laptop for a year. Didn't say anything about it at all. Said nothing. Actually, they kept their mouth shut, kept their mouths quiet on the entire thing. And and Dave, Mr. Machine, says, howdy, Mr. Canyon. Yes. And so he sat on it for a year, and he sent one of those copies to a journalist over in the New York Post. I'm pretty sure. And whenever they started leaking what was on the laptop, then that's whenever things became public about what the FBI had on it. And according to what the FBI, I guess the filing of the evidence, the filing of the laptop itself, like there's so much stuff in there on the laptop. And I guess they had it in there for like one of the lesser crimes. I mean, guys, we're talking all kinds of stuff on that laptop. We're talking emails with the business that Hunter Biden had been into. I mean, stuff that, we're only now getting confirmed on what was going on what is going on. So much information, even going into pedophilia, drug use, illegal business dealings. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. A lot of stuff in there.
Now, my question for you is, and you touched on it already a little bit. If you had a laptop yourself, and okay, you turn it into the local computer store to get fixed, whatever, all this crap is already on there that could make you and a lot of people go to jail. And you don't collect. You're like, I'll get it when I have time. What? To me, that by itself is screwed up. Odd.
Right. I mean, you would think that he would have stuff a little bit better password protected, a few more layers of encryption in there, because that's just an easy way to go about it. You get you can put extra layers of encryption within your hard drive. You password protect your profile, you password protect different files. You can even password protect documents themselves. I mean, there's multiple layers.
But they'll let it go that amount of time too, not even go back and get your laptop.
Well,
it all just seems a little weird, fishy.
Right. But here's part of the kicker, though. I guess he wasn't of sound mind, I guess, whenever he dropped it off.
Oh.
The guy was like, he's drunk, he's on something, whatever. I mean, he wasn't of sound mind when he dropped it off in the first place. So, I mean,
that makes more
who
sense
knows?
then.
But even still, I mean, he had many times that, the owner of the shop tried to get in contact with the guy.
Right.
So it's not like he didn't know it was there. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a holy crap type of an issue. Definitely. But I'm the same way. I mean, the whole thing just seems weird. Now, here's the thing though, too. Now, before anybody has one of those thoughts like, oh, it wasn't Hunter. Well, okay, here's the thing. He signed it. He signed the contract and it was verified. Yes, it is Hunter Biden's signature. And 2, whenever stuff finally got, started to get released of this, Hunter Biden's lawyer called up the shop and was like, hey, we need that laptop back. I mean, this is a lawyer that, just the first day out of law school has absolutely no idea what the heck's going on. And, hey, could you return that laptop that, is definitely not my client's? I mean, it's like, dude, they just confirmed right there whose laptop it was.
Oops.
And yes, the machine put in here, he goes, the apple don't fall far from the tree. And you have got that right.
Well, that explains it right there too, yeah.
Right? I mean, just wow, guys. I mean, and I tell you what, the stuff that is in here is just holy crap sick, And the guy of the laptop mechanic shop, he made multiple copies because as soon as he turned this thing into the FBI, he was like, I'm afraid for my life on this. This could potentially be bad for me. I may suicide here shortly.
Right.
I mean, that's exactly why he made multiple copies in order to safeguard himself, kind of give him a little bit of an insurance policy, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah.
Stupid is as stupid does.
And he definitely. Yeah. I mean, guys, there's stuff in here that is just, it's holy crap, and they're just really getting into it. And this has been done more by the New York Post, the New York Post than even the FBI. The FBI, I mean, they're not really doing much of anything with this, and that's the sad part. Here it is, the FBI. How much time did they spend investigating the president and even before he was the president?
Right.
And they can't investigate this because it's damaging to the vice president and they want him in there.
Yeah, somebody's getting paid or, maybe, allegedly, possibly.
I'm not even going to go that far because, I mean, look at who you're dealing with. I mean, you're looking at people who are so hardcore orange man bad that they'll do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, whenever Tara Reid, whenever that whole thing was going on, what did they basically tell women? It was like, look, if you got to take one for the team, do it because Orange Man bad, we need to get him out of the White House. So take one for the team. That's literally what they were telling people. Somebody gets raped, allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly because there has been no investigation. Why has there been no investigation? Because Orange Man bad, we don't want to investigate this. And here you have the BS that happened with Brett Kavanaugh, and it's like, something, this doesn't quite pass the sniffer test, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
This smells like Bravo Sierra. I mean, holy crap, guys. But anyway, take one for the team. It doesn't matter how bad your feelings got hurt. Just take one for the team. Orange Man bad, we got to get rid of Trump. It doesn't matter what happened to you. Take one for the team. Not a listen to all women. Anyway. Guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when I return, we're going to talk about something that a topic that, again, I have not talked about on the show, an area that I have not gotten into at all, but we're going to touch base on it because of the current temperature with the Supreme Court Justice nomination of Amy Coney Barrett. You know, that lady, that chick. All right, guys, just a couple minutes. I'll be right back. Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs. And we're back. All right, guys. So we are just 1 week a day. We are just 1 week away from Halloween, this guy's birthday. And for those of you that don't know, there is going to be a Halloween extravaganza on the Fringe FM and livetalk.live. Spreaker. Just search Alex Exum, and he's going to be doing an awesome show. I can't wait to listen to it. And hello, Mr. Vacker over there in Facebook land. And yes, I have the computer mostly done. Mostly done. But anyway, here is a promo of that Halloween show that will be this Saturday night, evening, afternoon-ish.
When a horrific tragedy befalls a man, he comes up with a diabolical and sinister plan.
Nothing will stop us, darling. Nothing can stop us now.
With the help of those who are not what they seem. His tale of terror will be told this Halloween. One night only. October the 31st. Be there and be scared.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Are you in
It's
it?
a good time. I just so happens I am, actually. Ooh. I play a tiny little bitty part, and
That's scary.
I can't talk about it. I can after the show, and of which case, I mean, then I can. But yes, I'm actually kind of excited about it. It's going to be a good time. It's fun. It's funny, actually. Yeah. Anyway, I can't talk about it. I wish I could. I'd give you details, but I can't. I'm sworn to secrecy. Anyway, guys, we got some other stuff to get into, and that is Amy Coney Barrett's Amy Coney Island Barrett. That's her new name now. Amy Coney Island Barrett.
Coney Island.
Coney Island. Yep. They make really good hot dog stuff. I like hot dogs. Never mind. Anyway, I realized what I said after I said it. Yeah, moving on. So, her hearings were kind of, to say one-sided would be putting it mildly. Because for the most part, it's, they like to say that the Constitution is a living, breathing document, and of which case, okay, it is. And through the amendment process, it kind of is. You can change things. It wasn't supposed to be changed all willy-nilly, kind of like what happened with Prohibition, which they undid, but it still happens. Okay, so it's not supposed to be altered for willy-nilly causes, but it happens. And then you have some of the stuff that the left would consider a win, no matter how illegal it was that it was done, but yet those type of things are written in stone. Mm-hmm. The Constitution, oh no, that's written in stone, or that's living, breathing. Some of the stuff that has gone through the Supreme Court, well, those things are written in stone. Yeah. Okay. Allow me to draw your attention to the Affordable Care Act. It was a bunch of crap. It should never have been passed through because there was, it's a tax, it's not a tax, it's a this, it's a that, they couldn't make up their mind. And in the end what happened was the Supreme Court actually saved them on how it was worded in the verbiage that was in there, okay? Allow me to bring to your attention. Nope. Where did it go? There it is. Yeah, well. Never mind. Allow me to not bring to your attention anything. Apparently, I did not click on the proper article I was wanting to look at, but anyway, they're all afraid that the Supreme Court is going to just do away with the Affordable Care Act, and in which case I'm like, well, you know what, they should. Actually, is what they said was that that article is there. So yeah, this is from the New York Post. Allow me to draw your attention to right here. We need to burn the Affordable Care Act and rebuild it piece by piece. They said in here that the Supreme Court probably is not going to nullify Obamacare. Congress should. Well, no, actually, I completely and wholeheartedly disagree with that. Why? Because if a law is unconstitutional, then it should be nullified by the Supreme Court. That's part of the whole checks and balances things. Am I right?
Right.
Exactly. But oh no, they're like, oh, Congress needs to take it back. And no. They had their chance and they failed. And the funny thing was, or the sad thing was, even though it's not a purview, it's not a job, it is not a constitutional power of the Supreme Court, they went in there and changed the legislature, changed the bill in order for it to be, well, okay this day, but then it wasn't okay this day. And then they changed it again, and then it was not okay, and then now it is okay once they changed it again. Like, they changed it like 3 or 4 different times through the whole process. It's ridiculous. The whole thing was ridiculous. So that's, what they're afraid of is totally is losing through this, because, guys, might I remind you, for the past 50 plus years, they have had, as in the Democratic Party, has had a majority in the Supreme Court. So if they don't, they claim that they want democracy, but at the same time, anytime democracy doesn't actually go the way that they want, they take it to the courts and they give it to the Supreme Court because they've had a supermajority. They've been able to do that. I mean, haven't you noticed things like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're terrified of what could happen this next several years if the Republicans have a majority. They know that they're going to undo or try to undo a lot of things they've gotten away with for a very long time.
Exactly. And now we're getting into the aspects where now we're going to get touchy. We're going to get touchy. I might hurt some people's feelings, but I don't even care. All right, because the other thing that they're all concerned about is Roe versus Wade and abortion. They're all like, oh, she's going to overturn that. And, well, let me ask you something. Maybe we should. Here's why I say that, okay? Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that the federal government has any say in that type of issue. In fact, the Constitution says the exact opposite, because it says that here's the things that the federal government can do. Anything outside of that belongs to the states and the people. 10th Amendment, that's what it says. So the purview of abortion is not something that the federal government should be doing. Period. It needs to go to the states. That's the constitutional way to do it, period. Okay? Now, I've never talked about my thoughts on abortion. What are your thoughts on abortion?
It's murder. Plain and simple, to the point. You're not going to change my mind.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
I mean, when the sky's blue, you can't say it's purple. And
well, you can.
You can, but it doesn't.
You'd be
it
lying.
doesn't. It doesn't make it purple.
Right.
Some things are what they are.
Now, my thoughts on this go a few different ways. Of course, religiously speaking, life begins at conception. That's what the Bible says. Okay. Now, here's the thing, guys. Roe versus Wade was done. Oh, good grief! When was that done?
I could be wrong. I want to say 60s.
60s? Okay.
Yeah.
Any way you look at it, it was done during a time whenever we were pretty ignorant on human development, on how a child is formed in the womb and all this other kind of stuff. We were very ignorant on what was going on in there. Okay? And our thoughts on abortion were framed in that ignorant frame of mind to where we didn't know. Okay, we didn't know, and what we thought was based off of ignorance. It was. I mean, read the stinking thing. It was. Okay, that's what the whole thing was based off of. Okay, scientifically speaking, I'm like, okay, you've got the heartbeat, you've got brain waves, you've got certain stuff going on, and okay, looking at those metrics, then okay, and of which case, life begins according to science, like what, 2 weeks?
Something like that.
2 weeks after conception is about when you have heartbeat. That's when you've got, brain activity. There you go.
And
according to this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have this right here. It says Roe versus Wade, 1973 is when it was enacted.
1973. All right. Hey, that was the same year that Biden became or was elected in the Senate, became a senator. Well, 74, he actually became it. He was nominated. He was elected in 73. Interesting. Anyway. Yeah. So according to science, 2 weeks. And if they want to talk viability, well, a unborn child is completely viable outside the womb during the entire third trimester.
Right. Can I chime in on that?
Absolutely.
And I know we've touched on this off air before, but in a legal aspect, a person is legally declared dead by XYZ. Okay, no brainwaves, no heartbeat, all that kind of stuff. So if they're legally dead using that criteria, and that law is already on the books, why wouldn't you use the same criteria to say a person is alive? It can't be one or the other. It should be all for one. If you're dead because of this, that, and the other, guess what? If you have those, then guess what? You're alive.
And that is exactly an argument that I've made myself. And I'll take it one step further, okay? If it is perfectly legal for a mother to choose and eliminate a life, but yet, let's say, now, granted, guys, I am not condoning this whatsoever. In fact, I find this, never mind, appalling. But let's say the dad decides that he doesn't want the child and he assaults the mom by punching her in the buttocks and causes a miscarriage. Well, guess what? He's getting charged with assault against the mom, and he's getting charged for murder against the unborn baby. Now, how is that? If it's a right to choose and a baby isn't a baby until the mom says it is, well, how can you have your cake and eat it too?
Right.
You know, I find that it's like, dude, no, it's same thing you said. It's either one or the other. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Just because you want it, no, it doesn't matter. If it's not this until that, then that is not this.
Right.
You can't have it both ways.
But
Okay.
that's exactly what they've done.
That's exactly what they've done. You know, now personally, I find it, I don't like it at all. I'm like, no, not at all. And I've even heard some of the arguments of like, okay, well, rape and incest. It's like, well, okay, well, that's why they have the morning after pill. Okay. I'm okay with the morning after pill. That's why you have that. And you're talking something that is less than 1% of the reason why all abortions are performed. So you're wanting to put in there an exemption to cover everybody that is less than 1% of all reasons why abortions are done in the first place. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. It's the contradictory of terms and the hypocrisy is what gets a lot of people. You know, that's one of the biggest issues as far as that goes. But I mean, we've talked about that stuff before on other topics too. It's just do as I say, not as I do, or this is okay when it fits our narrative, but it's not okay if it fits yours. Or it's just the hypocrisy is astounding. And,
yes,
and that's what gets people. You know.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, again, guys, I mean, I don't condone it, but either way you look at it, Roe versus Wade does need to be overturned because that power does not belong in the hands of the federal government. If anything, it belongs in the hands of the states, period. You know, I mean, dude, it's such a controversial topic. I mean, here's the funny part about it. Like the people of California, whenever they were posed with the question, abortion, yes or no, they said, no, we don't agree with it. And the majority of the people in California said no. It was on a ballot. That's how they voted on that. Well, the Democrats didn't like that, so they took it to the Supreme Court of California, and California said, well, even though we believe in democracy, they overturned it because that's what they wanted. Hypocrisy on the left much?
Right.
You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. Now let's go into another hot button, item on here, and that's same-sex marriage. I'm hitting them all today, aren't I?
Oh, you're just on a roll.
I'm just on a roll with this one. So same-sex marriage. Okay, now here's the thing. Again, on a federal level, I don't agree with it because this is an argument that doesn't belong in the federal government. Again, I go back to the Constitution. They had enumerated powers. If it wasn't specifically given to them, then it belonged in the hands of the states, a.k.a. marriage. Now, here's the thing. They want to tout the whole, you know, some of the things as far as, you know, keeping religion out of it. Well, okay, that's fine. So why is it that you have only two ways that you can get marriage? Go in front of a judge or go in front of a priest. if you want to keep the religious aspect of it out of it, then why are you not eliminating a priest out of the getting married aspect of it? You know, you want to keep the religious priest in there that he can do it, but yet you don't want a religious type of a ceremony. I knew a couple, you know, and they was not, you know, not Christian whatsoever, and they did not have a Christian wedding, and in which case, yeah, cool. You know, I commended them for that. You know, they had a different type of a ceremony. Let's just put it that way. Different type of a ceremony. Was it religious? Nope. Did they have a priest? No. You know, they had their legal marriage in front of a judge, and then they had their religious ceremony outside of that. Now, here's the thing. Whenever it comes to marriage in general, I don't think the federal government has any right whatsoever to say who can and cannot get married. Let's face it, if we are supposed to have equal protection under the law, equal rights under the law, then how come is it that me as a single person and you as a married person, we get taxed under two different tax rates? Why? That's not equality under the law. That's what we're supposed to have, right. Is it not? You know? So, yeah, I'm against marriage being done on the federal level whatsoever. You know, if anything, it should all be done. You know, civil union is what it should be. Marriage, no. Civil union, absolutely. I don't like marriage at all. Not because I was once and am now divorced. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. I'm talking, you know, a legally binding marriage. No, I don't believe in it whatsoever. Civil unions, okay. You want to protect, you know, your stuff to where if you died, it automatically goes to your wife or your kids. Then that's something that you can do legally, and the civil union would give you those. Outside of that, no. The religious aspect of it, I don't even care. I mean, I know Deuteronomy, you know, a whole book in the Bible written about dudes. I know it says that, you know, thou shalt not, you know, sleep with a man as you sleep with a woman. It says that, I know this, but on the same hand, thou shalt not kill, there is. Thou shalt not have butt sex, there is not. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's not one of the top 10. And also in Deuteronomy, it says you're not supposed to play football either because you can't touch the skin of dead animals. So you can't play football. You can't do anything on Saturday because that's a Sabbath. You can't wear cloths of multiple cloths because that's bad. Talk back to your kids. You can get stoned. You can get sold. All kinds of stuff is in there that do not translate into today. And therefore, hey, we're under the New Testament. So thou shalt not have butt sex. I really don't care. On a religious aspect of it, doesn't bother me one iota. How about you?
Can you repeat all that?
No.
I'm number one.
You are number one.
Wow. Whew. That was a mouthful.
Matt put in here, so no spooning with the guy? Oh, I will spoon all day long, sir. Yeah, baby. Anyway, spooning, yes. Forking, no.
What about sporking? Is that where it's just bare? Never mind.
Just a tip.
You just a tip. It's not all the way in.
Oh my God. You are
You know
horrible,
about
sir.
that though, don't you?
Anyway, guys.
Sporks.
Sporks.
Can't forget the sporks. Who created the spork? You know? Or
I don't know,
where
but
did
that
the
guy is
spork come
rich.
from?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can't really use it. I mean, you can stab it kind of, but then you're just cutting through it because all you have is a tip. So, I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? I mean, you can't even you can fork a hot dog, but you can't, you're going to cut more than halfway through with this spork.
He's probably sitting around the table one day, smoking some reefer going, man, if I combine this fork and this spoon, I can make a fortune. And he probably did.
Spork. I'm sure he did.
Spork.
Spork.
Why can't we think of something like that?
I called it I can't tell you what I called it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Proprietary.
it's a condiment.
Yeah.
It's a
Condiment.
dude. I seen on the meme on Facebook. It was recycled condoms. I was like,
I think there's a new commercial about to be made.
maybe. I mean, I'm hoping this was fake. I mean, I really, they're recycling rubber. Okay, that's all they were doing. All right, not tires, but the other kind. I mean, I don't know how many miles are on there. It doesn't
Already
matter.
lubricated.
Just, moving on. That was well played, sir. That was well played. I don't have my sound effect in here. Yeah, exactly. I don't have that in there. So
What's that calling number, HoHo?
that calling number is 217-965-6133. If you would like to call and add in your 2 cents right along with us, kind of join in with the madness a little bit. Things are definitely off the rails today.
Woo!
Yes.
International callers, dial 1 first.
So we've talked about abortion. We've talked about same-sex marriage, and
Talked about sports.
and sports. Whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat, so to speak. I don't care.
Are you a forker, a spooner, or a sporker?
Depends on the mood, I guess. I don't know. No.
You never thought this conversation was going to go this way when you wrote your notes down today, did you?
No, I did not. No. Well, I
maybe.
knew that something was bound to happen. I just didn't know the exact direction this thing was going to go.
So if you're a sporker, call in.
Or a spooner.
Or a spooner.
Or a sporker.
Sporker.
Why is there no knives? That's what I want to know. Where are the knives in this conversation? You talk spooning, you talk forking, you can even throw a little sporking in there, but nobody ever talks about the knife. I mean, is he left out? Is he holding the camera? What is he doing?
That's a big blade, mister.
Right? All right, we're taking a break. All right, just a couple minutes, guys.
Yeah.
That's not the one I wanted to play. Is that the one I wanted to play?
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll be right back. Have you ever been so full of it your eyes were brown? Have you ever sat on the toilet but nothing comes out? Is a box of frosted shredded wheat just not doing the trick? Well, have I got the ultimate solution for you. Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. See, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse is that particular product that will break through the sphincter like the Kool-Aid Man through a brick wall. Oh yeah! No more irregularity, no more cramping, just good old nice flow. That's right. Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. Please use responsibly and use at home. This is a fast-acting product now available in Tropical Punch. Welcome back. And yes, gotta love that Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. Mm-hmm. And hello, Gavin, over there in YouTube land. Good to see you, sir. How you doing? You just missed a good conversation. We're not repeating any of that. You're too young. So yeah, speaking of which, I don't know. I really have no idea where I'm going now. I mean, I really don't. Yeah.
You're still thinking about the sporks.
We're not talking about that no more. So I seen this story, and it was something that I was wanting to get into, but I did not have time to actually read it. But the headline is, let's show you that. What is really? Vector just dive bombed. All right, so in our, I don't even know what that is. I don't know. Whatever news source this is, the lies were told about the American story. And it made me kind of curious. I was wondering whether this article was written from a historical accurate point of view or whether it was written by the PC culture point of view. Mm-hmm. Because one is historically accurate and true and correct. The other, well, it's not.
It's not what?
It's not accurate.
It's not?
No. It's not at all. Not even a little bit. Not accurate. So I was kind of curious. I mean, this is one of them articles that I'm, really? Another pop-up? That's like 2. Anyway, something that I want to get into, but yet, pop-ups keep coming, and it's like, but, I mean, that's the thing, guys. I mean, are we really taught truth in history anymore? I mean, I don't know any.
I don't think we ever were.
Well, we more so back in our day.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're like, what, 2 or 3 years older than dirt?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh my God, I heard a good joke today. Speaking of being politically incorrect, I heard an amazing joke today. I read it on the Facebooks. That's what we were going to talk about. So I read this joke on the Facebook. Let me, before I take it over for a second. Give me yeah.
I'll take it over.
Yep.
So the history.
Crap, I lost my train of thought.
History we've been taught. We've touched on this before, and I like watching some of the shows. That used to be on History Channel, and I think you can replay them on YouTube about lost history. There's so much out there that we haven't been taught. One program that I've recently watched, and I can't remember, America Unearthed, I think it was. It talked about possibly the Mayans actually made it to were up in America and Georgia, because the Indian tribes in Georgia, they show the similarities of symbols and architecture and everything that match perfectly with the Mayans in Guatemala and southern Mexico. And they showed the side-by-sides of all that stuff. And there's just so much between the giants. The Indian nations have talked about the giants being here before we were, and just all kinds of things that the Smithsonian has supposedly covered up. And it's just amazing of they cover crap up because they don't want you knowing certain things.
Well, it doesn't fit the narrative that they're trying to. Yeah.
So I mean, I think there's a whole host of history out there that we have not really been taught right.
Absolutely, and not only that, and that's the thing that they've discovered too, is like a lot of these ancient civilizations, they've seen so many similarities that it boggles the mind, and it goes against what we have been taught in school. I mean, let's just, flat out put it right there. It contradicts a lot of what we were taught in school, which is the reasoning why they kind of keep it covered up, but I'm not even talking, that aspect of, prehistory. I'm talking more along the lines of just American history in general, American and world history, because that right there, there's a lot of things that we're no longer taught. And a lot of things that, if we are even taught it per se, it's only a little
snippet.
Yep. And that's it. Maybe a couple words. Come on, guys. I heard, this was like last year, I think, that, they were talking that history, American history was going to be a chapter in like world history or something. They were going to take an entire class and boil it all down to one chapter. How can you do that?
Well, you've seen the news things where the guy goes around asking college students different questions and stuff.
Those are entertaining.
You see the one where half of them didn't even know what day Independence Day was on. Right.
You ask them what year the War of 1812 was, and they're like, they don't know. It's like, guys, it's the War of 1812. Yeah. Who's buried in Grant's tomb? They can't answer that. Come on, guys. These are not hard questions. This is easy, but yeah, there's so much stuff that we're not taught. So I'm like, I kind of wonder which way they went on this, if they gave it to us in a PC culture type of but the joke that I heard was a hilarious joke. There's a Native American, all right, and he was, he was buying a bag of potting soil, this is totally not even politically correct. This is amazing. But the guy was like, the guy behind him was like, oh, buying some dirt for your garden. And the guy was like, nope, buying my land back one bag at a time. And this time I'm getting a receipt. And I'm like, yes.
Oh, God.
I know.
Wow.
Like, that is awesome. That's a good joke.
Yeah.
That's a good joke. Anyway, wow. So the thing that I was wanting to talk about that I completely forgot about, I was trying to bang my head on the table and hoping I didn't mess anything else up before the show today. And I'm like, I know there was something else I was wanting to talk about. And then I remembered, you guys seen the light bulb go off in my head. It was really bright too, and Section 230. Have you been hearing about that one?
Section 230?
Yeah. No.
I've heard of Section 31.
Huh?
But that's in Starfleet. That's a different topic.
Order 31 or Section 31?
Section 31.
I'm not talking Section 8 either. That's different too. No, Section 230. That is to keep much of American history covered. It makes it easier, I can read. It makes it easier to influence the next generation, and most people will not further their research into it. And you know what? You're absolutely right, Mr. Vacker, over there in Facebook land.
Yes.
That's exactly what it amounts to. You think about learning about, the Constitution and government from a public school. Are you really learning accurate things? Or are you learning case law, precedents, which doesn't mean anything? Aren't these the things that they want to teach us more than actual truth in the Constitution? But yeah, they keep a lot of that stuff hidden because they don't want us to actually know, because the less we know about our rights and what authority we have over the government, the less power they have. They don't want that. They don't want to eliminate their own power.
Like maybe this is not directly related, but what you were just talking about, excuse me, reminds me of the Catholic Church and the church in general back in the day. The priest would tell the people what they needed to hear, what they needed to learn or whatever, because as time grew on, if people read the Bible for themselves or did their own research or this or that, it would take away from their power.
Exactly. And Gavin makes a good point in there. He goes, most things in today's schools, it is all by chapter. It is all by a chapter. And then once you're done with that chapter, you never go back to it. And you're absolutely right, But back to your point of what you were saying, it's like the first English translation of the Bible was not the King James Version, as they would basically want you to believe. It was the Geneva version.
Starts with a G. I can't pronounce it. Gutenberg or
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg. Or, I think it was Gutenberg.
I don't know. But anyway, the King James Version Bible was specifically written in such a way to make it hard for the common folk to understand. Making it to where if you wanted to understand what was in there, not necessarily read, but understand the words that are written in there, you had to go to a priest, putting the power back in the hands of the priest. Exactly what you were saying.
Right, because back then, too, most people back then weren't very literate in the sense like we are today.
I wouldn't go that far.
In some areas, they were.
Right, but, I mean, you're speaking pretty highly of literacy.
Right now.
Right, and I agree with what you're saying. I mean, you're absolutely right. Unlike the Constitution, that was written in such a way for the commoner to understand, so that this way it wouldn't have to be explained to them by somebody else.
Right.
It's very important, but let's go back into section 230. Okay. There's been a lot of things going on right now revolving around social media. I'm talking, YouTube, I'm talking Facebooks, I'm talking Twitter, Twitch, and even Twitch. Twitter, and Twitch. Holy crap, Twitter and Twitch.
HoHo's new platform, Twitter,
Twitch. Anyway, there's been a lot of things going on in that. All right, now, and I know I've brought this up in previous shows before, but recently things have really come to a head and really gone into a boil to the point to where, the head Zuckerberg guy from Twitch, whatever that guy's name is, we'll just call him Bill Esquire. He had to go in front of, and I think this was Thursday or Friday, I don't remember which, they had to go in front of Congress to talk about why they were squashing a story from the New York Post about Biden's emails and what that could possibly mean, because Twitch completely shut down anybody that was talking about it. So basically what Section 230 does is it provides special exemptions to internet platforms to where they are not held liable for the content that is put on their website by a third party. So like me, this show I put on numerous different platforms. It is third-party content, Spreaker, YouTube,
Twitch.
Yeah, Facebook and Periscope and Twitch, these are platforms. They are not publishers, okay? There's a distinction between the two, platform versus publisher. Facebook is a platform. Newsweek is a publisher. New York Times is a publisher. They pick and choose the content. They are the one that are doing it. Even though there is even the editors, whatever, the thing where you can...
Commentary.
Well, no, I'm not even talking commentary. I'm talking like newspaper, where you could write to the newspaper and have that put on there with the classified ads and whatnot.
Letter to the editor.
Yeah. Even with those type of things, they're liable for that, but that's what it means, okay? And there is a section in there as well under 230 that says that you can't just block content. You have to do it under like the Good Samaritan or the good faith clause in there, basically meaning you just can't ban people for whatever reason from being able to post on your platform, okay? Now, having a platform and having these, different things in there, these exemptions, they give you tax exemptions, they give you legal exemptions, they give you tax credits, they give you all kinds of things as being a platform in this protection under the Section 230. It gives them all kinds of liberties to do, to allow content on their platform. It doesn't give them the liberty to act as a publisher. That's the exact opposite of what they're supposed to do. Okay, now, yes, they can block content, but I'm not talking, blocking an article that the Washington Post put out there that the rest of the Democratic Party doesn't like, squashing that. No. I'm talking things where, like a video where you're killing somebody. Yeah, you should probably take those down. I'm okay with that because those are, content, videos, whatever, where you are promoting crime.
Right.
That would be bad. And who cares about the racing stuff that's on there? I don't even care. But like murder, some of that type of stuff, yeah, it doesn't belong on there. Take it off. They have that protection. Go ahead and do it. They're supposed to do this under good faith. Restricting political speech before an election is not something that is being done under good faith. No. Not at all. So they're talking about eliminating these companies like Facebook and like Twitter, getting rid of their Section 230 exemptions because they are acting more as a publisher and less as a platform.
Right.
You got anything else to add?
No. I think it's good. If you're going to do that, guess what? You don't get those tax breaks. You don't get all those special privileges.
Absolutely.
And like you were saying, before, if you're publicly traded on a stock exchange or publicly traded, you're a public company.
Exactly.
You're not a private company anymore.
Exactly. And of which case, this is how the Constitution is on the public square, the public arena. You have your constitutional rights. But especially claiming to be a platform, you're not supposed to restrict freedoms. You don't have that liberty, and neither do they. And even under the Section 230, they don't have that liberty. They don't have that freedom. They don't have that right to do that. That goes against and violates the very protections that they have. A platform, not a publisher. Absolutely.
So many people are getting their sites nuked because of their beliefs. All the QAnons, all the patriots, all the anything to do with the 3% or anything like that. They've just been boom.
Dude, even Alex. Not only was he banned on YouTube a couple years ago, he just had his account closed down on Twitter for the same thing of what I'm talking about now. He posted a point of view, and I believe it even had that New York Post article attached to it. They took it down. Like he no more than clicked post or tweet, whatever it is. That I don't even use it enough to even know.
Yeah, I don't either.
No more did he put tweet than they blocked him and done. We shut down your channel. Really?
Yeah.
He
should be able to sue him.
Mm-hmm. And how can they allow that and not allow all the Trump, anti-Trump stuff that they've been posting and allowing to go out there for 4 years or more?
Right.
I mean, where's the balance in that? It's all one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
Every last bit of it. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So, I ain't got anything else. You got anything you want to add?
Just something that I know we've touched on before. I'm not sure if we did on air. Is all these tech giants and all these platforms, so to speak. All these liberals are running them basically. We need some rich conservatives or just conservatives in general. Even if it takes a long time to do, to buy up some of these companies bit by bit until we have a majority in each of them, and take them over. I mean, if the liberals can do it, why can't we? If the liberals can start their own platform, why can't conservatives have a? I know there are some out there, but they're not on the same scale. But why not?
I mean, simply put, I mean, I'll give you for instance, and I agree with you. I do. Don't get me wrong. I very much agree with you. But there is a reason that people don't want to get away from the YouTubes. It is the number one search engine on the interwebs. And it is. You want to find something out, you want to get a how-to video, that's where you go. There are other options out there, even for content creators, but unfortunately, here's the thing. YouTube is so big, they don't need to charge content creators for putting content on their site, on their hard drives. They don't need to do that. Why? Because they charge the money, and because they are so huge, they can to, these third-party individuals. They're taking your content, they're taking your data, they're selling them to them. That's how they make their money. You get these small, startup businesses, they've got to charge a lot of money for these hard drives, for this domain space, and for everything, the servers. They got to charge a lot of money for that. I can't just go onto that website and stream an hour-plus long video for nothing. It's going to cost me money.
Yeah. Is YouTube publicly traded?
Yes, it is.
Then why don't we, all conservatives all across this country, whenever shares of stock are available, start buying them up? I don't care if it's a share at a time. Keep buying them up until eventually the conservative side has a majority of the stock in that company, and then we can change things. I mean, granted, it's not going to be overnight, but you got to start somewhere. Same with Facebook. Same with all these guys. If you got extra money to spare, buy one share. If all you can do is buy one share, and everybody across the country that believes like we do, here and there can buy a share here and a share there. Eventually, we might be able to make some kind of a difference.
The bad thing is, Walmart has a thing for them because they want basically the everyday citizen to be able to buy their stocks. Mm. So once the stocks reach a certain price, it splits.
Right.
A lot of these other companies out there, especially whenever you're talking, big information like Facebook, like Amazon, they don't do that. So their stocks are expensive. Mm-hmm. The average Joe just can't buy them out.
Yeah.
They just can't. It's a lot harder to do that as an average everyday individual than what it is for somebody like George Soros, and everybody knows where he stands on the political side of things.
Right.
It's not going to happen. They have safeguards in there keeping such a thing from happening. Mm. It's just the way that it is, But my thing is, there's no need to do that. If we hold these people accountable for what it is that they do, legally or otherwise, and I feel pretty good. I mean, if we actually win the presidency, if we win, keep the Senate, win the House, I see a lot of things changing very, very quickly because, it has been so blatant of what they've been doing that they're not going to get away with it.
Right.
If the people stand up, take the power in their hands that they have in this next election, there's no way that they're going to keep that power. I mean, people need to be held accountable all across the board. I'm talking, the Bidens, I'm talking the Clintons, I'm talking everything. I'm talking, all these people in, the FBI that allowed this to happen with the Trump investigation, with all of it. I mean, accountability needs to happen. If we have no accountability, the FBI might as well not even exist. It doesn't matter. It's not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not being held accountable. These people are not going to prison, and that's what needs to happen. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to get anywhere until we actually take control of the government again. The people need to take control. That's all there is to it. You know, we need to take control. We need to hold these entities accountable for what it is that they're doing. If they have the Section 230 exemption, yank it from them because they're not acting as a platform.
Right.
Which allows them these exemptions, these tax exemptions, these legal exemptions. Take it away from them. If they're acting like a publisher, then treat them like a publisher. That means they are liable for what it is that they say. See, that's the thing. Being a publisher, you're liable for the Bravo Sierra that you talk about. You're liable for that. That's why CNN was sued by the school kid, you know, for slander. It's like, dude, this is the narrative you guys promoted. It was false. You're liable for that. As a platform, they're not liable for the things that the stories that they squash and the fact-checking stuff that they put in there. They're not held liable for that. They are exempt from that. And that's part of the problem.
Right.
You know, accountability. That's what we need. You know, would it be nice to buy back YouTube and make it a conservative platform? Absolutely. Yeah. But I don't care. They can have their money. Doesn't matter to me. Let's take back the government. Let's take control and let's hold people accountable for the stuff that they do and take away their exemptions.
That's going to be the key, though. We have to take it back.
Absolutely.
And then we have to hold on to it. You know, what good is okay, you get another 4 years of bliss where we hold everybody accountable, and then the 5th year you lose it and it reverts right back to where it was.
Right. Or even, you know, like what happened last time, we hold on to it for two years, and then Democrats take control of one house, and then where are you?
Yeah.
You know, same type of thing. Yeah. Got anything else?
Nope. I bet there's a bunch of sporkers in Congress, though.
Oh, we know that. A lot of sporkers, a lot of sniffers, a lot of all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of things in there. Well, guys, I thank you for tuning in, checking out the show. Y'all have yourself a wonderful day. Good night. Sleep tight. And if the bed bugs bite, well, by golly, bite him back. This has been The HoHo Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpikle.com. Until next time.